This week, then, we figured we'd talk to you a little bit about preparations for our visa medical.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back. I am Sam.
Mark.
If you're new here, we are documenting our journey to get in an immigrant visa to go and live in America. And this week's video, we figured if you've been following us for a while, you'll know from last week that we got our visa appointment date. Yay!
Eventually.
So this week, then, we figured we'd talk to you a little bit about preparations for our visa medical.
Yeah. So you basically have to have medicals. For anybody who doesn't know, immigrant visas, I think it's only relevant for immigrant visas. I can double check, but I'm pretty sure it's only for immigrant visas. You have to have a medical interview. All over the world, but obviously we're based in the UK, so we're going to give you details on our experiences and what we're doing. So there is only one place in the UK that you can have visa medicals done, and that's based in London. By London traffic, probably 20 minutes away from the embassy. A place called Bentinck Mansions, sort of central London area. That's the only place you can go to. You can't go anywhere else. They're the only people that are authorised to do visa medicals. They have access to a platform, so when you give them your LND number, as it is, which is for you, essentially follows you all the way through the process of applying for a visa. They have access to a platform, it seems, that looks like they can upload your medical data onto that platform, which is directly linked to the embassy.
Yes.
So you can't book a visa medical until you've officially got an interview appointment booked. Now, when our visa interview obviously was scheduled a couple of weeks ago, but they only book visa medicals so far in advance. So we had to wait until essentially what has been this last week, before we could actually book the interview, book the medical, sorry.
And they said they tend to book a month, don't they, like that month? Is that what they said when you spoke to them?
They typically said it's normally about 6 to 8 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
So for people that have got interviews in September, they'll be booking in August.
No, in August, yeah.
So the calendar basically, or the slot didn't open up until August. So I called them up on Monday. I've booked the medicals for all four of us, because if you're going as a family, if you're going as a single, if you're going as a couple, all of you have got to go for medicals. The costs are different depending on age, so I'll go through that in a second as to what the costs are. But you all have to go for one, and then there's different things that are required depending on your age as well.
Yeah.
Again, I'll go through that in a second. So we booked them for mid-September. Again, I won't tell you the date. We'll just tell you once we've done them, and we'll record some of whatever we can on the day. I've got a funny feeling when I go back to recording anything.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to record anything during the medicals, but we can obviously
before and after.
Before and after,
and we'll share that when we've done it. But it's middle of September anyway. So that's now been booked, and basically I called them up, explained to them that we've got an interview now scheduled. I gave them the LND number. She could see that it had been scheduled. She could see it was for 4 people. She could see all the names and everything else and the type of visa that it's for, which is kind of weird, really. And I'll come on to why that is in a minute. Yeah, so she said your interview date's for end of September, so we'll book that 2 weeks before, and we'll give you a date for then. So that's now been penciled in. She then gave me an idea on the phone of the costs of what it is, the fact that has to be paid on the day. And then the only other thing really is if there's any vaccinations you haven't had on the day of the medical, you can pay to have them there when you're there.
And you have to have them before they're prepared to
submit it all to the embassy. Essentially what happens then is you go to your visa medical. For a single person, it's around about 90 minutes in total. But if you're a couple or a family, it takes a little bit longer, inevitably, because there's more of you. So we're kind of anticipating, I think our appointment's like the first one in the morning, virtually.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning.
So we're expecting it to be a good couple of hours.
Yes, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
And then rules that have changed this year. So as of February this year, what now happens is it used to just be, you used to go for your medical and then bugger off and then not go back to the embassy or go back to London for any of this visa related stuff until your actual interview date. In February this year they changed that, and rightly so, because I think it makes sense to do so. What was happening a lot of was people were turning up to interviews and having missing documentation, really simple stuff that they should have had, they've just turned up for, and obviously that's a waste of the embassy's time because they've now got an interview slot that's now going to be rescheduled. And it's also a waste of the individuals or the family's time because you've
gone down to
London, you've done that effort to go to an interview and you've missed a vital document that you perhaps wasn't aware of or you just missed it. So they now do like a document review, and they also do the whole biometrics, fingerprint scanning and all that sort of stuff in like a pre-interview. So as soon as you've done your visa medical now, you'll go straight to the embassy from the medical.
And it's it says on the email, between 11:30am and 1pm is when
it does, but
they're doing these slots.
I've also read where people have had later medical appointments that it doesn't matter. The embassy still knows you're coming.
Oh, okay.
So even if it's later, it doesn't matter because the embassy's still expecting you to turn up.
Oh, right.
Because you'll have been booked in.
Yeah.
So even if you do have a slightly medical, because there was a question that I read on the forum recently. It was like, my visa medical's not until like 10:30 or whatever it was. If it's 90 minutes, that's going to be 12.
And then I've got to get
and then
from there
to and what's the likelihood? And I was like, it doesn't matter because they'll liaise with each other, so they know they know you're expected, so it's not to be concerned about. So that's what we've sort of scheduled. That's what we're currently planning to do. So I then got an email confirmation of all of that, and then in the email there was then all of the list of the things that you need to take with you to the visa medicals, a list of the things to expect on the day and what's going to happen when you're there, and then obviously details the bit where you have to go to the embassy afterwards. One of the things that I find really frustrating is the information that you find for everything, almost everything to do with this visa, is different. You can go to an official website and it'll tell you one thing. Then you go to another website, which is not necessarily official, but it's relative, and that tells you something else, completely different. And then the email that I've got from the medicals tells me something all completely different. So a very good example is passport photos. So obviously, the passport photos for the whole process needs to be the US style passport photos, which are different to what we have here in the UK. I think they're slightly bigger. We got ours done in one of the little photo booths at a local Morrison's. And the reason we used that is because I found it online somewhere that said that you can use that one and you can select to have US visa or US passport photos done, so they printed bigger.
It was a Photo Me booth, I think
Photo
they're called.
Me booth, yeah. So we did that anyway. So at the time we had 4 photos done, as you do for all passports. 2 of those photos were sent to the NVC when we were doing the DS260. So I've got 2 left, thinking I might need 1 for something. On the official US Embassy's page, it says when you go for your visa medicals, you need 4 photos. I thought, crap, we're going to have to go and get some more photos done. However, they're not going to be the same as the first 4 we did.
Yeah.
Because they're taken at a later stage. Obviously, we're still the same faces, but we're going to look
have
different clothes on or different whatever. So I was like, that's not going to be great. So then when I go onto the Visa Medicals website, it says you only need 2 passport photos. I was like, that's good, I've still got 2. That's not an issue. Then when I called them, they went, you don't need any of that passport photos. Oh. Why don't I need passport photos? Because we've converted everything to electronic. Yeah. So they're going to take digital photos at the Visa Medical place, which are then going to be different to the passport photos as well. So I'm not entirely sure how it all links up and how it all connects. They're going to have 2 lots of photos. Mm-hmm. I'll be interested to see which one they actually use, because one of them is going to get put on the green card at some point.
This is true.
That's assuming it all goes to plan. So that'll be that's quite a frustrating thing, because because we could have gone and got photos thinking we need them, spent an extra 40-50 quid or whatever they were, and then it turns out we don't actually need them. And then it goes to like the interview stage. So the interview stage, there's nothing anywhere on any of the sort of documentation I've received since we booked the interview. There's nothing on the actual AIS portal that tells you about passport photos. But the document that I've received from the visa medicals place tells me that I need one passport photo to take with us to the embassy. This is just one thing that I'm picking on here, but it's the most obvious one and the most, it's a bit frustrating that it's not that clear.
Yeah, things just don't seem to be very well dotted. Like the lines don't all match up.
No. And I think I think that kind of opens it up to problems, which is why they have to put these document things in place. Because it's not transparent.
So our experience right now, today, in August of 2025, is that you need, for the process, 4
photos.
Yeah.
US style photos.
Yeah. That is not to say that is what it will always be like.
That's just reminding me. The ones that we have got, we need to cut them up.
Yeah.
Because at the moment they're still stitched together.
Okay.
Mental note. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to very quickly go over not the full details of the email, but let you know what they request and what they're expecting.
Oh, yes.
Now,
preparation for your visa medical.
Preparation for your visa medical. Now, this also is the documentation. If matches the documentation that you need to take to the embassy document review check as well. And again, I'll just cover it up. I haven't remembered it all, by the way. I'm reading it off my phone. So, required documents is you need an original passport. What the?
A pigeon landed on the conservatory.
Let's try that again. So, required documentation. You need original passports for everybody. They must be valid and they must be in date. Pretty straightforward. They don't accept any copies of any IDs. They have to be the official versions of. And because your case is based online for them, they will take a digital photograph of you on the day. So hence the lack of need of passport photos there. You have to have in-date ACROs, which is your police certificates, or a copy. And it has to be dated within the last 24 months for anyone over 16. And you have to have a copy of your vaccination records that you get from your GP. As I mentioned earlier, any vaccinations that you don't have, you can have them on the day, but you have to pay for them. I think because we've kind of looked down the list, and I think there's 2, maybe 3 that we've got to have.
Yeah, we were able to get the MMR
and Tdap as an adult, which is the tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis.
Yeah, so we were able to get those via our doctors.
Yes.
So we won't need to pay for those on the day. So
the 2, possibly 3 that I think we might have to have is hepatitis B, because we don't administer that here in the UK as a standard thing. Varicella, which is for chicken pox, again, currently we don't administer that, although I am told that might be changing. And I think the other one possibly will be influenza, but because that's seasonal, it might be that we don't have to have it now because it's August, September.
Yeah, we'll just
I don't know. We may have to do those. But all in all, if we all have to have those, it's nearly 500 quid. So that's something to consider when you go for these medicals. Not only do you have to pay for the medicals, if you have to have any vaccinations, and there's 4 of you, it could turn into a few quid worth of stuff. So I've worked out it's going to be about 500 quid at the minute. Yeah. So sell a kidney. That's probably the best advice you've got. Vaccinations is a thing. You get sent a PDF medical questionnaire, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's only 1-pager. It's kind of, the first half is just your details, your LND number, the visa type, date of birth, name, blah, 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 blah. And there's a couple of tick boxes then of questions like...
have you ever been hospitalised? Yes or no? And then if you say yes, you have to give... On
a separate sheet, you have to document
what
briefly document what that is. Now, obviously, when some of the documentation you have to provide, which is actually a bit further down, is a summary care report. And a lot of that is detailed in there. Probably doesn't break it down into the full depths and breadths because it's not a full medical report. It's just a snapshot of what's happened. So if you've had an operation like appendicitis, you've had to have your appendix out, that'll be on there at some point. So they'll be able to see that you've had it done, and they'll be able to say, I think it's more just a secondary cover off that you've wrote it down. So you have to fill in that medical questionnaire, sign it, date it, and that's done. You need a letter or an email from the embassy or the embassy to confirm your case number and visa category. Obviously, we've got an abundance of those. We've got the confirmation of the interview that's got it on. We've got the DS260 confirmations that have got all that on. So yeah, there's a few pages.
Yeah.
We've got
You'll have that going
somewhere
through this process.
Yeah. Mentioned that just as well. The next one is the summary of medical history from GP. Not your full medical records. They're called patient summaries or care summaries. If you've got the NHS app,
It's kind of what you see on there.
you can. I'm almost certain you can download it on there. Worst case scenario, you have to go to your GP and get it.
But obviously, I don't know what everybody's doctors are like out there, but that can take quite a long time to get that from your doctors if you have to put in an application to get it.
Yeah.
And you may have to pay for it. So you might kind of want to make sure you're giving yourself enough time to get those documents from your doctor.
Yeah, we got ours like a month ago to make sure that we had them in good
Yeah,
time, and nothing's really changed since. So.
We've had experience where it's took 6 weeks to get something back from the doctor where you've needed them to fill something out or print something out. So, yeah, that's just something to bear in mind when you're getting those.
Yeah. It also says that if you wear glasses or contact lenses, please bring them along with you. And the final one is if you have any significant ongoing or previous medical conditions, please ensure that you bring a report from your GP specialist or consultant regarding these. It includes depression, anxiety, learning difficulties or hypertension. There is a very bold red note after that says that if your medical notes are extensive, make sure that you inform the people at the visa medicals prior to arriving for your appointment, because they'll have to allocate more time to review the paperwork. But if you don't tell them, they'll charge you an additional appointment slot to allow for time to review them. So it's almost worth telling them that it's perhaps there's a bit more in. If you've got no ailments,
well, it actually specifies that if your medical notes are more than 10 pages or 10 sides, I assume that is, then that they're classifying as extensive. But so yeah. But the one thing just to clarify about what Mark was saying there, so when it says about significant ongoing previous medical conditions, and it says that you need to get the report from your GP or your consultant, they're looking for things like what medication you're on, what the prognosis is, how it's managed. That's kind of what they're looking for. And that list that Mark gave, when he said conditions such as depression, anxiety, learning difficulties and hypertension, it specifies this includes, so that doesn't necessarily mean that anything outside of that isn't included.
Yeah. So what we've done as a separate entity is we've replied to the email they've sent and said, right, there's X, Y and Z that we've got questions on. Before we turn up, can you give us more definitive answers as to what it is you're expecting to see so we can get them before we turn up?
Especially knowing that it can take extended periods of time to get these reports from the doctors.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it for the document, for what they're expecting to see on the day. Cool. So one of the questions I've been asked quite frequently by people outside of YouTube and videos, when people have asked about the visa process and what happens, people have asked, how long have you got before you can move to the States after your visa's been stamped or your passport's been stamped with your visa? And I didn't realise this until I think we knew anyway because we've read up on it. But it's something that people don't realise is it's not actually the validity of your visa that's the timestamp. It's actually the point in which you have your visa medical done, because you have to travel within 6 months of having your visa medical done. Otherwise, you've got to have another one done.
Yeah.
So you have to have travelled to the United States within 6 months of when your visa medical happens, not when the visa gets stamped. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so payment and prices. So prices here in the UK, for adults 18 and over, it's £395 per person. For children 15 to 17 years old, thankfully we don't have any of those, but they're £365 per person. And then children 0 to 14, which both of ours are £175 a person. So again, it's not cheap.
No.
1,100 quid.
On top of the £500 for the
Vaccinations.
anticipated vaccinations.
Possible vaccinations,
Yeah.
You can only pay by card. They don't take cheques or American Express. And if you cancel or need to cancel your appointments, you need to let them know with 3 clear working days notice. Otherwise, you get a cancellation fee of £100 per person. So there's a couple of things. So it then goes on to about what to expect on the day. There is a list that they send out, like a document here that's sent out, but they've also put it in the email. Anyone aged 18 to 24 years or is attending their medical will be required to produce a compulsory urine sample when at the clinic. All applicants will have a full medical examination by one of the appointed doctors. This will include ears, nose, throat, extremities, heart, lungs, abdomen, lymph nodes, skin, and includes an evaluation of mental status. The applicant will undress to underwear whilst wearing a gown. So wear clean pants and socks.
Put your best undies on.
Best undies on and matching socks. That's assuming I can find one. So there will be a full review of past health. Applicants aged 15 and above are required to have a chest x-ray. I think there's a note somewhere that says that if you're pregnant or expected to be pregnant, you won't have one, regardless of age.
Yeah.
Applicants 18 to 44 require a blood test for syphilis testing. Applicants aged 18 to 24 require a urine sample for gonorrhea testing. And all applicants, including children from Afghanistan and Ukraine, will have a blood test for latent TB. That's actually charged at extra money at 80 quid a person. Chaperones are available for all applicants. At the moment, it doesn't detail on here how the whole family thing works.
Yeah, so we're not sure whether we're all going together.
Yeah.
Or whether...
It doesn't say.
Yeah,
that.
it's not clear.
I would imagine with the kids being under the age of 14, they're not going to be on their own.
We're not going to have to leave. Yeah.
They're not going on their own.
No.
So they're going to either be they'll all go together, or they're going to be
one parent with one child.
Yeah. And might be why it takes longer, because it might be that we have to go and do everything individually.
Yeah, while one parent stays with them.
Well, they're just going to have to come with us. Where are they going to sit otherwise?
No, I know. Yeah, we just don't know basically. So that's something that we can let you know when we're done.
Yeah. It does say that if you're concerned about seeing a male or female doctor, please ask when you're booking your appointment, and they can book you in with a preferred doctor. And there's a big bold bit that says make sure you have 10 working days in between your medical and your interview. 5 working days of that is for the visa medicals to process your results and the paperwork, and then the other 5 working days is for the embassy to process the medical data once they receive it. Which we've got plenty of. That's fine. Yeah. If further information is required, this can delay the medical and being sent to the embassy. Now, the issue with that is, let's say I know we've kind of read through all this, we've anticipated our own questions about what they've asked for. So we've already gone back and emailed them and said, right, what are you expecting to see from this? So hopefully we'll have all the answers and we'll be able to get everything that they need if we haven't already got it. But if you go to the medical and the doctor turns around and says, I want more information on whatever, you've got to be able to go and get that information and get it to them within like 40 hours.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the data's not getting sent in fast enough to them
in time for your visa
to the embassy in time for your visa interview, which will mean that you'll have to reschedule your visa interview, which is not ideal. So it definitely pays to go and ask any questions about anything you're not sure about.
Yeah.
It's pretty self-explanatory. There is literally the last note on the email is if you've got any further queries regarding your appointment or any of the stuff within the email, you can either call them or you can email them. They seem to only really have one email address. The email address to send any questions to is the same email address they email you from, so it almost all goes to the same place. I was going to open up the attachment that was on the email, which is about the now attending the embassy. So again, I'll read some of the notes off this. So on the day of your medical, you are required to attend the US Embassy for an in-person document review, which is what obviously we mentioned earlier. During the appointments, they will review all of the necessary paperwork, which is required to complete your immigrant visa application. So the really good thing about that is if there is something that you've forgotten or something that you don't have, they're going to check it there and then to make sure that you aware of the fact that you don't have it, so they can do something about it, or you can do something about it. They collect your biometrics, your finger scans, and your photo. They verify all your passport information, and they answer any visa-related questions. So if you've got questions at that point about anything that's going to happen on the day or in the next process, you can ask those questions. Again, I think it's because they're so limited on time.
Yeah.
When it comes to your visa, actual interview, that's an opportunity for you to ask questions at that point, I think, pretty much. So you're required to bring valid passports for everybody, one passport photo per applicant, which is what I was getting at earlier, where it's different again on this document. You need to bring all of your birth certificates that must include at least one parent name. I would like to think most people's birth certificates have got two parents on, or at least one.
Yeah.
Because it takes one of them to give birth, so.
That might be different if you've got like an adopted situation, but then you'd have adoption certificates.
Yeah. You have to have the petitioner's original birth certificate. Kind of says you have to have. Okay. Yeah, you have to have birth certificates. You have to have any marriage certificates, divorce and death certificates if you've got them. Acros, which obviously we've already mentioned. So it's pretty much everything that you're taking to the visa medical is exactly what you're going to be taking to the interview anyway. And then if applicable, any adoption certificates.
Yeah.
Any change of name, deed polls or statutory declarations, and any military records if you've got them. All certificates must be original or a certified copy, and anything that's not in English must be presented in a certified translation. And then what happens is once they've checked all your documentation and they've certified it all and they've said yes, we're happy that everything's there, they then put it in a sealed envelope and return to you. So when you then come for your interview, you bring that sealed envelope. I don't believe your passports go in there.
I think it says everything but your passport.
Everything else goes in but your passports, because obviously you could be travelling in the time. Not that you want to be travelling in between your medical and your visa interview, because it's not a vast amount of time. But you could be travelling somewhere. I could be out. I was potentially going to be going to Germany.
Yeah, work or things, something.
Stuff. I was going to be going to Germany, so I'd need my passport in between the medicals and the visa interview. So. Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to shove your passports in there, but we'll find out. We'll have a look when we go.
But everything else does, and obviously the idea being that once that documents have all been stamped off by them in this sort of pre-review thing, is that once they're in that sealed envelope, you don't take them out.
No,
because if you go to your interview and you've tampered with the.
Yeah, that's awesome. Almost ultimately saying that something's could potentially not be in there.
Yeah.
So once it comes back to you in that sealed envelope, that's what you then take with you when you go for your actual interview, along with your passports and any other documentation they're expecting. But I think, to be honest, that's pretty much all the documentation. We've put a binder together with absolutely everything in there. So we've got copies of the DS260 confirmation pages. We've got copies of the letters that came through from USCIS when we had the approval.
Yeah, but I think it goes a bit beyond that. I think it depends on the questions you get asked on the day.
Which you won't know.
Which is the bit that we don't know. And so we've got a folder that's got lots of things in it.
I've even got copies of my CV.
Yeah, CV, certificates.
My UK one and my US one.
Yeah, it's we said that Mark had had all of his education validated by a professor in America, so that he could be given an educational standard as far as that would be concerned. So we took the copy of that. Because we have seen on the forum, that Visa Journey forum, that somebody was asked if they'd got their CV with them, and they didn't. So then they didn't get their visa approved until they'd sent in the CV.
Yeah, which delayed the process.
Which delayed the thing.
Yeah.
So we're just going.
The issue is 9 times out of 10 when you see some of these things that happen, you're not 100% sure of what visa type they're going for.
No.
So from a CV perspective, it could be that it was a H1 or H1B. There's no consistency in the questioning. There's no way of knowing. But we're kind of just
taking almost everything that we sent over in the visa application.
Within reason, yeah. We couldn't take the whole. They will have the entire visa.
Yeah, they'll have it. But we're also having it with us as well. Some of it, just in case.
Some of it, yeah. Some of the stuff that we think they might potentially ask about. So all that's going into a folder, and
And obviously,
When we get down
you guys all know Jacob is autistic. So in case we have any questions about that, I've got all of his diagnosis documents. I've got anything tied up with his education thing, his latest report and stuff like that as well, because we've got no clue what's going to get asked.
No.
And
there's only so much stuff you can take with you.
And it says in the visa medical bit, if you've got learning difficulties, and I just said to Mark, well, does the autism fall within that scope of a learning difficulty?
Yeah, so like that constitutes one of the questions I've asked the medicals, was like, Jacob's got autism, we've got full diagnosis and we've got a letter confirming, that that's what he's got, but what else are you expecting to see?
So we've just anticipated taking all things like that with us, just in case. So we've got them on the day, because then we've not got to come back, get it, and then be under the stress of trying to get it in for a certain time frame. We can just have everything.
So if during the point of sort of mid to late September you see a family of 4 walking around London with 45 suitcases,
some archive boxes,
and like a Dell computer strapped to me back with all of the
that's us
electronic stuff as well. That's us. So that's where we are. Visa medicals are booked, they're ready to go. We've booked hotels to be there for the night before, because both the interview and the medical are like
early in the morning.
Almost the first ones in the morning, or very early in the morning.
So you're not going to travel down. Not take that chance. So booked in for the night before. As it stands at the moment, the children need to come with us, obviously, for the visa medicals, but there's no requirement for them to come to the interview. No.
So what we will do is we'll ask. That's probably one of the questions I'll ask when we go to the embassy for the document check. I may say, do they need to be here? Is it favourable if they're here? Does it matter? It's ultimately me that they're going to be asking the questions of, so I don't necessarily think it should matter. We'll ask that question, and if it does, we'll take it with us.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. What else have we done? Other news, we officially put the house back on the market.
We did.
Thursday.
And the reason we did that was because obviously we'd kind of been suggested that the market had dropped really quiet, and I think that is still very much the case, that the market's dropped a bit on the quieter side.
General trend. That 6-week holiday, people aren't looking at houses, they're on holiday, they're doing stuff for kids, whatever. So that most estate agents, anybody we know, has sort of said, which is the reason why we were delaying putting it back on the market until the beginning of September. But we happened to notice, because we're just checking, obviously, Rightmove for our local area to see basically what the competition is, and noted that a few of the houses that had been up for sale, especially on our estate and in the vicinity, quite local vicinity of, had all sold. All of them. Wasn't like there's any left.
No.
Dead you serious? There was 4 or 5 houses and they've all sold.
They've all sold. So we were like, so people are still buying houses at this price point in this area. Let's have a chat with the estate agent. And so he had a look and he was like, there's literally nothing available now in your area.
At your price point.
So it probably is a good time to put it back on and see what happens. So that is what we've done.
Indeed. And we've already had a couple of sniffs.
So, but we'll update you on that next week when we know whether they go anywhere.
Sure.
But the other thing that Mark did was, in anticipation of something happening positive.
No, I'm confused. What did I do?
He called the movers to find out how much notice they need, because our anticipation thought at the moment, and we've done something a bit stupid.
But no, let's talk about the bit that I spoke to the movers, and then we'll talk about the stupid bit.
Well, it's kind of relative, it's linked.
It's not really stupid.
It is stupid.
But we'll mention that bit in a second. So I long story short, I'd already last year, this year?
Yeah, everybody knows. If you've been following along for us, we got a quote on what it would cost to ship all of our stuff.
And it was all pretty much the same sort of numbers, but Pickford's was the company that we know that other people have had really good experience with, or in the most part good experience with. So anyway, I found the guy that we know from Pickford's again yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday, just to say, it's obviously taken a little bit longer than we anticipated, but touch wood, was everything still happening. We now know when the interview is and so on and so forth. And I said, and we've got an ideal date
When we want to go.
Third week of October is when we're planning on officially moving. That's the current guide date is what we're trying to work to. I said, how much notice do you need if I was to pick up the phone and go, right, let's get booked in.
Interview went well.
Let's go. How much notice do you need? Now, I'm almost certain when I last spoke to him, it was 6 weeks.
Yeah, so we were a bit like...
So it was like, crap, do we book it in? Is there any, can I pay like a deposit just to pencil in the slots and then move it if I need to? I was like, I'll just phone him and ask the question. So it was a nice surprise when he turned around and went, oh, no. He said, at a push 2 weeks, ideally 3 weeks. If you can give us 2 to 3 weeks notice, we can get everything sorted. He went, obviously you already know that we won't physically ship anything until you've got an address to send it to. But there's nothing stopping us coming to your house, boxing everything up, which it's going to take us 2 or 3 days to do. Boxing everything up and taking it back to our facility, where it then all gets palletised and everything, and it's just literally ready. And then they won't order the container until we turn around and say, right, we've now got somewhere to send it to.
Yeah.
So 2 to 3 weeks, which I thought was fantastic, because that kind of...
Well, it was a bit of a relief, to be honest.
It fits within the time frame of what we need. So the stupid thing we've done...
I'm going to blame you, because I'd just written it off as a non-starter.
Okay, so for anybody out there, right, my wife has been banging on about the fact that she wants to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween... Can she hear me? Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party for a few years. We did it a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then we was going to do it last year. And
before.
Was it last year? Was it year before, was it? And we said, we won't book it before we go, because we'd already had a busy plan or schedule done. We'll book it when we get there. And there was no dates available. So she said that she's determined to try and get there this year. And obviously everything's took a little bit longer, the visa process took a bit longer. So we're cutting it fine to be able to get there. So obviously, being the wonderful husband that I am, I just went, look, assuming the visa interview gets stamped off and it's done, we will make everything happen, and we'll be travelling mid-ish October. So let's just throw caution to the wind and almost have the motivator of having Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party booked. So we've officially booked that for the 28th of October. And then using DVC, I've booked us to go into the Polynesian Tower with the resort view thing for one night on the day of... Is it the day of? Yeah, it is. The day of the Halloween party. So... I will caveat that with saying that I did pay the extra 40 quid or whatever it was for the tickets to have the cancellation insurance. So if I need to cancel them, I can cancel them and get the money back. So it's not completely stupid. I have kind of thought about it a little bit because that was an option. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have booked them if I wasn't able to book a cancellation thing.
No, because ultimately, even if the visa interview goes well and we get the thumbs up, it takes them a couple of weeks to get your passports back to you with your stamping.
I forgot about that bit. I didn't forget. I was just thinking, there's loads of time.
Yeah.
Also,
we like to live under pressure.
It's exciting. That's it now. We've put a line in the sand. We need to be there. We'll soon find out. You'll find out as well. So so that's what's going on. So it's just a waiting game again, but at least now we've got stuff scheduled. Yeah. And we know what stuff's happening. I've also, I think I might have mentioned this last week, I've also got a pre-interview interview with the lawyers in 2 weeks. Yeah,
so we did mention that.
3 weeks.
So that's everything on the move and where all of that is at. As for us, we went and did our little trip to Anfield and took Finley to go and see his team play.
Yeah, we'll put a photo in here.
Yes, I did put a post on Instagram as well. So if you aren't subscribed yet to our Instagram, head on over to Instagram and follow the Hyde's Florida Life over there.
I'll put a link in. So don't expect
I'll put the
to
handle
down
in.
Here somewhere.
And you can go and check out that. But we had a really great day. And I did vlog it. So as I said to you before, when we've been doing stuff, we've been kind of vlogging it so that we can kind of do like a little compilation of our 6 weeks holiday with the kids and the things that we've done and things that we've got up to, like the bigger things, things that we've been out and done, because obviously we've not gone away, so we've not gone on a holiday, so we're doing more in the way of like little day trips and things out. I mean, I've not like vlogged we've gone for a meal, or you know what I mean, or we're off to the cinema,
been shopping for trainers,
yeah,
which is normally what we're doing,
because I've just not done that. But if we've done any sort of days out,
anything meaningful,
then we've vlogged it, so we'll be able to share that with you soon.
The Anfield one was good.
Yes.
Anybody ever considering doing hospitality, whether it's Liverpool or any of the team you support, if you can do anything like that where it's not stupidly expensive like ours wasn't, so it was very, very well priced for what we had and what we did.
Yeah.
I would definitely consider doing it.
I mean, we were lucky that it was a friendly match, so they weren't charging Premier League match prices.
No.
So, and in essence, we got 2 matches for one, because they played one friendly at 5 and then one friendly at 8. So we got to see 2 matches, and it meant that we got to see pretty much the whole squad play in one or the other of the matches. So
it was really good, really, really good.
we had a fab day.
I think it was worth the money for the time that we were there.
That's what I mean, yeah, because it was 2 matches.
8 hours, was it?
I mean, I know it's not the height of the excitement of the Premier League or the cup matches or anything like that, which I suppose is the big drive with the majority of people to go. But for us as a family to go and experience that together and take Finney to go and see his team, for as far as Finney was concerned, he didn't really care who they were playing or what it was for. He just wanted to see them play.
Just the experience.
So from that perspective, it was the best thing we could have done for him. And they won both matches. So for him, it was a perfect experience.
Although we both turned around and said it was very strange, because we don't go to football matches really. Well, I haven't been since neither of us have been since we were a kid.
We watched them on the
telly.
We
watch them on the TV. So obviously, when you're watching on the TV, you've got commentators telling you about what's going on in the match. They're telling you which player's got the ball, and there's something going on in the background whilst the football's happening.
Yeah, you get the replays of things.
You get the replays you get replays of goals, and that was the thing that we thought was really weird, because obviously they scored, everyone cheered, everyone got up, and then it was like, hold on, where's the replay?
Yeah. Can I see it in a bit more detail? And you can't. It's like, it's weird.
Why can't I watch it back? Can we zoom in a little bit? VAR, can we have a look again? None of it exists. It just plays on. Yeah, okay, back to the centre half, and off they go. And it was quite strange, because we were sat in the Anfield.
We were one
end,
yeah.
So we were sat behind the goal, which was brilliant when they were shooting our way, because obviously everyone got up close and you could see them, because we were quite close to the pitch side. But as soon as they were going the opposite end, they're going down the Kop end. I had no idea. Didn't know who had the ball.
Yeah, especially
couldn't see who was doing what. The only time you knew somebody had scored is because you watched the sort of Mexican wave appear around the side of the stadium with people cheering.
Yeah. And then the commentator, and you know what these like tannoy systems are like. It all sounds a bit like garbled. Salah!
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, it was Salah that scored!
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, that's what you were. Goal! It was like that. Was it Peter Kay? The DJ.
Yeah.
Trying to understand what the press was saying.
So no, but it was a really good day.
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So yeah, that's what we did last week. I've got nothing planned technically for next week as yet. Might have a look what's on.
Work.
I know it's work.
I've got lots to do this week, so I might not be doing many things.
Oh, okay. Well, I know I've got lots to do.
Clothes sorting.
Clothes sorting, shoe sorting. That's got to start.
Got a lot to sort out as well.
So
I
you can.
Skip.
I may take you along to see what it's like to, declutter. Immigration journey. Get rid of all the stuff that you.
Actually, yeah, that would be fun. That would be a fun video to do. But Sam's going to show you through the wardrobe and chest of drawer space that I don't have. We used to have half and half. I'm not kidding. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go around and we'll show people. We used to have half and half. The wardrobe in our bedroom used to be half and half. I've now got 2 coats in it.
Can I just
The chest of drawers.
You have 2 wardrobes in the
chest of drawers
spare room.
used to be half and half. I now have pants in them.
They're actually empty.
No, they're not.
That's only because I put jumpers in them because they were empty.
They're empty, but the jumpers in them.
There's like 2 jumpers in a drawer. It's not like I filled it.
You stole my drawers. How dare you steal my drawers?
He's just making it. He's making it.
That's all right. I'll just cry myself to sleep at night. It's fine. That's it for this week.
That's updating you on everything that's happened this week. If you've got any questions about anything that we've said about the, visa medicals and stuff, the information we've shared, we can do our best to try to answer them. Obviously, some of it we're not going to know ourselves until we go. So that's it really for today.
So anybody who hasn't already, anybody who's new, please make sure you subscribe. It really helps the channel, and like. There's a button somewhere.
And follow along, because hopefully we get into the point now where it's all happening and we will very soon be booking our flights.
Go. We've got to that as well, haven't we? That's going to be fun. Trying to find flights, let alone book them.
That's what I mean. This Nicky Not So Scary thing is...
Can you swim?
Pressure.
Can we get a cruise?
They don't go in the right time frame. I did look.
Not too sure I want to go on a cruise in hurricane season either.
No, but there we go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching if you've made it this far through this video, and we will see you soon on the next one. Bye for now.